How will Liverpool set up next season with new signing Hugo Ekitike now in the side? We're going to talk all things tactics today. The tactic board is out. And in fact, this is quite a raw reaction from myself. I've not even given it a vague bit of thought at all. So I'm going to go through it with you now live. So I'd love to hear your thoughts back in the comments and, you know what I mean, get the community going down below. If you're new around here, the George Scaife LFC channel. My name's George Scaife, obviously. It'd be weird if I wasn't called George Scaife and this channel was called George. Anyway, just subscribe if you're interested. And there's a lot to talk through today. Robertson's going to drop out for new signing Kirkes. Buzzing for this. Bradley might drop out for Frimpong, but I don't think as regular as people are saying. I think Bradley, actually, for me, keeps his place in the starting 11, I've got to say. Let's just, don't worry too much into that. We'll come into it later. And then, a weird one, obviously, well, Nunes obviously comes out for Ekitike, but Szoboszlai's the weird one. Like, it almost feels unjust that Szoboszlai's getting dropped from this starting 11. No doubt he'll feature very heavily next season. He's one of our best players, certainly off the ball. However, Wirtz is just simply a better player, like black or white. You're going to pick Wirtz, I think, over Szoboszlai. In my opinion, don't spend all that money and break your record transfer fee on Wirtz and not play him, right? So personnel-wise, I think they are our 11 next year. Obviously, Gakpo can rotate in. Obviously, Szoboszlai can rotate in. And obviously, Frimpong can rotate in. But other than that, it's there. I'm going to just throw out what I think we might do next year. And it might sound daft when you hear it first, but just let me land, as they say. Just hear me out. So I think, actually, we saw at times last year that shifting to a back three with Robertson playing left back. Robertson actually could be doing this, you know, off the bench and doing this in cup games. He seems like the natural transition to move him to a centre half. We saw it against Preston, or at least not a centre back, maybe a tucked in left back. So I think actually, if you shifted all this across and Kirkes played there, I think Kirkes. You might look at that and go, what the hell? Kirkes is like this all-action fullback. In fact, last year, behind Gvardiol at Man City, he was the second highest fullback up the pitch for Bournemouth. Like, he was up here, right? Putting him there does seem condescending and it doesn't seem right. However, I'm not saying he's going to be a centre-back. If you are seeing this as a black and white centre-back or left-back, you're entirely wrong. It's not how Liverpool will work next year. Wirtz will not be an attacking midfielder. It's not black and white. If Gravenberch drops into play centre-back, he's not going to be playing centre-back. He's going to be a midfielder, being more conservative. You've got to look at this more, is holistically the right word there, and see the bigger picture. If we are going down the right-hand side, say Frimpong's in the team, Frimpong likes to get forward at Leverkusen. He operated literally ahead of Salah, where Salah plays. He's going to be wanting to get in these areas and affect the game, how he knows he can affect the game, and how Slot knows he can affect the game. So play Frimpong to his strengths. You know what I mean? Play to our strengths. Assume Kirkes tucks in. Like, doesn't mean Kirkes is prohibited from doing this, but he's going to be tucked in when Frimpong's going down this right-hand side. Just stick with me. Gravenberch and McAllister. I think at times we've been caught out last year from having not enough in there, and having two midfielders in there, I think on the counter-attack it really helps us out. I think at times we struggled last year with maybe overcommitting with McAllister and just leaving Gravenberch on his own, certainly towards the back end of the year. But having two in there really shores that up. And then we do this. Just hear me out. Just watch it. Drink it in. I'm going to move them all up and just let me move them all up the pitch. If we're in the attack, right, against a side who are playing a low block, I don't see an issue with this at all. And it would be that. What's your problem with that? What an unbelievable side that is. It's a 3-4-3 on paper, in essence, but it's not a 3-4-3. If your critique of this is, oh, well, Kirkes isn't a centre-back, you're absolutely wrong, because if you go in the other side, if the ball comes off the left-hand side and we're attacking down Diaz and Kirkes' side, Frimpong just simply tucks in. Gravenberch simply tucks in. Kirkes goes. Van Dijk goes. Konate goes. You're forgetting last year we won the league with pretty much just two defenders, like, at times. By the way, we've done that for a while with Robertson and Trent, these bombarding, I guess is a good word, bombarding fullbacks, attacking fullbacks. It's been often just Van Dijk and Matip or Van Dijk and someone else. Yeah, Fabinho was in there, but Gravenberch and McAllister in there. We used to have three midfielders. Yeah, there's only two now, but I just think with this pressing power up front, Wirtz is so good at winning the ball out of the pitch. Diaz as a runner, Salah's a runner. We're not going to be, you'd think, exposed to that level of counter-attacking threat. Look at that. If it all moves over, you're going down the left hand. Let's put the ball in the play. Look at this. Let's put the ball in play. If it goes down the left hand side, Frimpong just simply tucks in there. Think how quick he is. Think of his how explosive he is, his running power to get in behind. If one of them long balls comes in over the top, say Diaz loses the ball, we're on the counter. God, what would we do? Long ball comes in over the top. You've got Konate covering and Frimpong's pace. Literally one of the fastest fullbacks in the world. One of the fastest players I've ever seen. Did you see him move against Preston? My word. So on that counter-attacking threat, I'm not worried. Gravenberch is going to be the more conservative of these two, and he'll play towards the right-hand side anyway. Naturally, he just plays there, right? So that's going to work. I really think this works in a lot of ways. We'll move back to the right-hand side. And also, by the way, if you bring Conor Bradley into this team, which will happen a lot, I would say he's better defensively than Frimpong. So again, on them counter-attacks, with Bradley tucking in here, it could absolutely work. I don't see an issue at all with this. And if your issue is, well, Kirk isn't a centre-back, you're wrong, because he's not going to be playing centre-back, is he? He's just going to be tucking in whilst his mate goes. It also gives him time to rest. Like, these players are going to be doing a lot of kind of short sprints as well. So having this flexibility of going either side and changing your shape as it goes and being quite malleable and quite flexible fits a lot of these players' skill sets, including Florian Wirtz. Wirtz can come short for the ball. Wirtz can go wide for the ball. Wirtz can come more central to receive the ball. A lot of it's going through him. And Ekitike, I can see a world in which this happens. Let me just set it up again. Where are we? This kind of 3-2-5, 3-2-4-1. I can see a world where Ekitike drops in Wirtz and Salah are ahead of him. Because at Frimpong, yeah, great, George. Well, at Frimpong, yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. At Frankfurt, my word, how many instances has he dropped deep like this, like a Firmino kind of thing, and knocked it round to when we played with Marmoush? He was often the player who'd come deep and pass to Marmoush and lay him through, and Marmoush would run through. Ekitike, not the fastest player of all time. He's not the strongest player of all time. But my word, is he intelligent enough to drop in there and create for his mates, for Diaz running, for Frimpong running, overlapping, for maybe Bradley coming in and underlapping. How many times have we seen that with Bradley? Salah keeping the width and Bradley inverting. Ekitike making that room. We saw, like, there's a reason Salah and Mane was so successful, because Firmino was taking a centre-half with him and creating so much room. With Ekitike dropping into that pocket, you don't know, as a centre-back, whether to follow him or wait for that run from Bradley or go and mark Salah, who's playing wide. The flexibility here, and again, it's so malleable. You're allowed to play against most teams. Like, you've got a plan against any team you come up against, right? If you're playing against a low block, you've got players who are creative enough in and around the edge of the box to create something, whether it's this run from Diaz in the far post and one of these little delicate balls from an Ekitike who can play them, from definitely a Wirtz who's literally come in to play them balls, right? Or a Salah getting on there, or a Frimpong coming round the outside. Against low blocks, I think we'll be fine. On the counter-attack, look at the pace, look at the running power. Diaz, Frimpong, Salah, imagine just letting them go. Go on and let's go and score. Absolutely excellent. If it all breaks down, McAllister and Gravenberch in there. Kirkes, who's great 1v1 on them counters. If Frimpong loses the ball here, one of them long dives, Kirkes firstly is quick enough to recover, but he's also very underrated 1v1 because he's so good at going forward. It often doesn't get spoken about how good he actually is defensively. We're forgetting this guy was signed based on his ability to get forward and also his ability to get back. This is not just one overlapping, like a Frimpong, right? This is not the same player. Because we signed them both at the same time, I feel like they're getting branded as the same fullback. They're not at all. He's almost a winger, Frimpong, playing in a back three last year. Well, I guess in a back five. He was one of the wingers in essence. But Kirkes can do this. And I actually think he's better at doing that. It's not like he can do it. I think he'll really thrive there. Having more of a defensive duty, having Van Dijk next to him. I mean, you literally couldn't handpick a centre-half better to play next to you in your first season at Liverpool in this new kind of role where he's playing more defensive. And yeah, just because we sign a player with Frimpong doesn't mean they're both going to be attacking fullbacks. I don't think they will at all. But it absolutely does give you the flexibility to go towards the left. And for Frimpong just to... Even, you know something, if Frimpong just wanted to get forward here, and if Kirkes... I mean, how many times have we seen that ball from Kirkes? That was it against Newcastle or Wolves? One of them. He put in a great cross and that winger here got on the end of it. But also Frimpong could get on the end of them. Like, it's a possibility, right? Because he's that attacking. But I'd like to see a bit more conservative positioning from Frimpong next year than certainly last year at Leverkusen. What are your guys' thoughts? And again, we're trying to talk about Ekitike here, but you almost don't need to talk about him because he's good enough. And having him in the team makes his position 100% guaranteed, but it kind of takes the uncertainty out from a lot of the other... Sorry, gives more uncertainty to the other players, like Szoboszlai. We've not even spoken about Szoboszlai yet. Where does he feature in this team? Well, firstly, he could easily feature there. He could easily play left... By the way, I've not even spoken about this, Wirtz. That's exactly where he played at Leverkusen. I mean, how good's that, right? Your best player, in terms of easing that transition from A to B, from Bundesliga to the Prem, you're playing him in his actual role that he's played all season. You're playing Frimpong in his actual role that he's played all season last year, that you've signed him off the back of. That's surely a good thing, right? You're moving Salah more narrow, getting close to the goal. you're saving Salah's legs, doing less running on the width. How does it not work? Tell me now. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And then back to Szoboszlai. If Szoboszlai came in, he could either play here, definitely. Obviously, he's a number 10, right? He could definitely play there. He could definitely play this width and play with Wirtz. Imagine that. Imagine Wirtz and Szoboszlai in the same team. That running, that distance them two are going to cover. The ability to kind of churn up grass and kind of... They're very snappy players as well. Like, they absolutely get stuck in. When McAllister as well. They're kind of dogs, them three, aren't they? And I really like that. I actually thought... I was comfortable with them playing as a two up front on their own. And I think there's a world in which we can just easily do that. Like, that's not crazy, is it? What's changed there? All that's changed there for me is Ekitike's come out for Szoboszlai, and you've got that 4-2-4 we literally played last season. It's the most obvious transition of all time. Is it not? I think it really is working, guys. And then Gakpo, we've not even spoken about Gakpo. Gakpo can definitely come in here. I think Gakpo's less... If we played a 4-2-3-1, which a lot of people are saying we do, I think Gakpo's less effective in a 4-2-3-1 than Diaz. I just think the amount of room here, I think Diaz is so much better at covering them spaces, because if you play in a 4-2-4 like this, like off the ball we did last year, Gakpo's fine because there's a player here who's doing that work, and Gakpo's so good in this kind of zone. He's so good at coming more central and offering an extra body of support in the middle. But Diaz, I would say that Diaz, be honest with you, I'd be gutted if he left. But maybe we'll talk about if he does leave in a second, but if we did play a 4-2-3-1, I just think, look at that. Diaz in there, Salah in there, Wirtz popping these passes off either side, McAllister as well being creative. Kirkers can overlap there, and Frimpong can overlap. You could even have something where Gravenberch comes in between the back two. Again, not as a centre-back, as a more of a conservative midfielder like we saw last year. And that allows them all to go. You could even take Wirtz out of the team and do this. Here's another idea. Let me just show you another idea. Diaz and Gakpo come out of the team. Wirtz plays towards the left. You've got something like this. Wirtz and Salah, narrow. Frimpong, Kirkes, McAllister, Szoboszlai. How good does that look? Again, it's a 4-3-3. It's the same formation I said last time, but Kirkes is playing instead of where Diaz played. Gravenberch is playing in here. This is actually, for me, one of the perfect formations again. Because this 3-4-3 works in so many ways. You can easily transition back to your 4-3-3. Your midfielder's just got to drop. It's not like you're bringing your striker playing centre-back. It's your midfielder who's just got to sit slightly and just be more conservative and cover there. Kirkes and Frimpong getting forward. Szoboszlai doing that, covering all them miles in midfield. I think he's such a great 8, Szoboszlai, and perhaps rebranded into an 8, I think, last year at times. Maybe the lack of goals is a reason for that. Ekitike, Wirtz, Salah is your front three. How good's that? So that's like option 3, really, which looks equally as good. My point is, it'll be a 3-4-3, however you want to play it. Should this be Diaz? In cup games, you could do something like this. You could even rest Gravenberch in this, and you play Andy Robertson, and you bring Robbo in. And again, that looks not much worse. Does that look much worse? I don't think it does. What a team that is. That can go and win the league, absolutely. So there's one addition of this team. Should we bring in Konate instead of should we bring in Gay instead of Konate? He's so good at covering ground behind him. Gay, he's so smart. And yeah, he's perhaps weaker in the air, but with Van Dijk next to him, I think that's no problem at all with the pace of Frimpong as well next to him, covering that space. Nunes is a secondary option, right? So if Ekitike is rested, which he definitely will be, say this is Nunes or another striker we bring in to back Ekitike up, it doesn't look much worse again. Yeah, you're probably getting more direct balls coming in from towards Nunes as opposed to Nunes coming deeper and linking up. He's just going to be that man in the box. But again, he offers a good alternative to Ekitike. Let's go back to my first one. This is the first thing I said. Bang, bang. Where are we? Gravenberch. Sorry about this gathering of people on this right-hand side. You have to just ignore them for now. That's where I am. Guys, I'll be honest with you. And again, if you wanted to change that, easy. Absolutely easy. Is it easy? Well, I've forgotten what I'm doing now. Yes, it is absolutely easy. Bang. Come across. Come across. Come across. You can even come across, but no, let's just stay not across. Let's not keep coming across. Christ. Bang. Bang. Diaz comes out. If Diaz is sold, it's even easier. 3-4-3. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. This as well, that link-up play, can these two come more narrow? He's playing in the exact same position that he played at Leverkusen. So is Frimpong. That transition's going to be so much easier, excuse me, for those two players. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, I'm kind of working this out on the spot. If we were going to play last season and kind of do what we did similar to last season and literally not shake it up at all, I think Frimpong doesn't play. I think Bradley plays. I think it's Gravenberch. I think it's McAllister and Szoboszlai has to drop out. I mean, it's so unfortunate. Like, how can you drop Szoboszlai out the team? It's crazy to me. And let's just say Gakpo for argument's sake. There's your 4-2-4. Wirtz would have to play midfield, which works. Obviously, it's Wirtz, right? He could play anywhere probably, but I'd just rather see him further up the pitch, further towards the left. I get off the ball, you're going to play this. And Szoboszlai just sat on the bench thinking, I'm so good at that. Have I been dropped out of this team? What have I done wrong? Nothing. Which is why I don't think you play this. And I also think there's not enough in midfield there for me. In my opinion, again, there's the argument for this is you've got 4 defenders, right? In my thing, you only have really 3, maybe even 2. And the argument here is you have 4. But even this, my formation, what I'm saying is that in essence, isn't it? Because look, I could not change anyone here. Watch this. I'm not going to change anyone. And look how I just transitioned to that formation I said. I'm not changing anyone. Everyone moves across. Gakpo across. Wirtz across. Ekitike across. Salah across. Bradley just plays forward or Frimpong. And they all just move across. It's the same thing. This is why this whole formation or like position thing's nonsense, because players aren't limited to that position. They're not stuck there like glue. It's not a FIFA card. Every single player is intelligent enough to cover spaces. And if we talk about spaces, right? Kirkes is in this space. Bradley's in this space. These two just play midfield. Wirtz is in this space. Gakpo's in this. Ekitike. Salah. And I wish I could draw that on the screen. I don't know how to. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I think it really works a lot. And let's look at the backup options for this. In fact, let's look at Curtis Jones and let's look at Harvey Elliott if he plays. So Jones, more importantly, will feature a lot next season. Jones could easily come in there. And he does look worse, but it's not much worse at all. Who else have we got? Ben Doak. I think Ben Doak, by the way, in these cup games, playing like right forward, getting into the box. How good's that going to be? How frightening is that going to be? Same with Engamoa. I don't think we'll see him much, to be fair. We'll leave it there. I'm really excited. And by the way, actually, Joe Gomez. I think Gomez, given all his flaws, as a right centre-back in this kind of thing here, would be excellent. Or as like a back two, again covering a bit of ground. I think that's actually really suited to Gomez, as opposed to being just a out-and-out centre-back who's playing in a back two. I think having that, because he's played as a right-back for a while, right? Played a left-back as well. He's quite versatile. He could do a lot of roles here, and he allows you to switch between the back three and the back four. So in terms of the squad, I think it works. Robertson and Gomez offering something there. In terms of the midfield, I think Jones could play there. I think Elliott would struggle in this, because where's his role? Is his role where Salah is now? Is his role in midfield? For me, it's neither. I don't think Elliott actually works in this, but if he's leaving, then, you know what I mean? I don't think you should play the formation to Elliott if he's leaving. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I've just been speaking at you there for 20 minutes. Please, please, please let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and also watch this video right there.